In the last video, we looked at how we could create an article and store it in the database. Now, I want to take this a step further, and we're going to be looking at how we can, first and foremost, make this a bit more useful, because what if you have 100 users or 500 users? This is going to take a while to scroll through. So the first thing I want to do is I want to make this searchable. What this goes ahead and does is it changes the UI from being a native select component that the browser provides to a searchable one. Now, if I go ahead and search, for example, for the other user we have, it shows up and we can select it. But you notice maybe that if you don't search anything, there's nothing showing. So we can preload some of the items. If we go ahead and refresh, you can see the first couple of users get loaded in. After a certain limit, it won't load all of the users in, which is perfectly fine. We can also go ahead now and then take a look at this image component. Now, if you have, in this case, a specific server you want to upload your images to, if you look at your file systems PHP file inside config and file systems, you can see we have this one here. You can see we have all these disks here. We have local, public, S3, and we can essentially go ahead and select, for example, S3 or any of the other ones you may wish to create. That allows you to store your image in a specific place. It's super easy that way. And the other thing we can do is here is that we can get this name and so on. But if we take a look at this component in here, we have a few other functions. So I actually think we should go ahead to the Filament documentation, head in and look for file upload. In here you can see we can select the directory, for example, and that could be articles, thumbnails. We can upload multiple images. Now in this case that wouldn't really make sense for us, but we could do that. It also works that you can pass in a value for it to work for multiple articles. It would need to be cast as an array. You can do maximum number of parallel uploads as well, for example. You can preserve the file name, which would basically keep the file name as it is. As simple as that. That's it on that end. So what I want to take a look at now is we can go ahead in here inside the tables, articles table, and we can go into the columns here. We can create a image column, make thumbnail. What this goes ahead and does is that if we head into articles now, we have this image with the thumbnail. Now we can also go ahead and have a label here for this, like with the other things. Let's call this just thumbnail. We can have a text column for the title. We could have a text column for the slug. Let's take a look at what that looks like. Now we have these fields here. We can also go ahead and make this a tiny bit more advanced. We can have URL, and for now we just say articles. So instead of doing that, we can just say articles slug, and once we actually have a root, we can start utilizing this a bit better. So you can see this now has a URL in this text input component. Let's say we want to open that in a new tab, and we want this to be primary color because this is our URL essentially. And we want an icon, and we're gonna have external link. So for example, if we look in the users resource, inside the table, we have here icon, and then let's go back into the table. Okay, so if we head into our resource here, let's go ahead and have to check the icon one here. So you can see these are all the icon names that are in here. Let's just use the link one here. So we can try to go into articles table, import this. And there we go. Now we have a link. You just need to import this specific class up here for it to work. Now the next thing we need to do is a text column for publish ad. Make this datetime. There we go. So now we know when it's being published. And yeah, let's leave it at that. So that's it for this video. Thank you very much for watching it. Please hit the like and the subscribe button, and I'll see you in the next one.